If your goal is financial independence, then you're probably like me and you've asked yourself the question, just how much should you be saving in order to have a comfortable future and retirement? In this video, I'm going to cover the typical savings by age from your 20s all the way to your 60s, and I'll also share some tips on how you can increase your own savings. If you're new to this channel, I'm Matt, I'm a finance consultant. I've spent over 8 years working for one of the top consulting companies in London, and I now run my own company. On this channel, I talk all things personal finance. So let's start with the savings figures if you're in your 20s. According to a survey by Finder, the average savings for people aged between 18 and 24 in the UK is £3,636. And if you're aged between 25 and 34, the average savings is only slightly more at £3,748. If you're in the US, it's similar. According to data from the Federal Reserve, the average savings for people under 35 is $5,400. In your 20s, you might be fresh out of college or university with student debt, or maybe you've just completed a training program or apprenticeship and you're just starting your career. Your 20s is more about exploring different things, trying to learn as much as possible and building the right financial habits that will pay off over the long term. Some of the key things to focus on in your 20s are, number one, try to continually build your skill set so you increase your value on the job market. In your 20s, you're typically at entry-level jobs, so if you can increase your skills, then in turn you'll increase your earning and income potential, and that will enable you to gradually start to save more. Number two is paying off any high-interest debt. It's very difficult to build your savings and your wealth if you've got high interest debt from things like credit cards, car loans, personal loans or student loans. You can often feel like you're living paycheck to paycheck. As your monthly pay comes in, you spend it on rent, bills, paying off any credit card interest, and then at the end of the month, you haven't actually got any money left to save. It's a trap which can be difficult to get out of because high interest debt often grows faster than any investments can make. So if you've got any high interest debt, make this a priority to pay this off as soon as you can. Number three is to track your spending and to save an emergency fund. One of the things I found really helpful in my 20s was to have an income and expenses tracker. It helped me to set a goal on where I wanted to get to identify what I could save and invest each month, and also to target reducing the cost of big ticket monthly expenses so I could manage my budget to be within my means. Work towards saving at least 3 months of your living expenses to cover any financial emergencies such as periods of unemployment or sick leave, and then put that money aside and save it in a high interest savings account. Number four is to open up a stocks and shares ISA once you've done the steps above. Even if you don't have much money to put into the account, open it up, put in whatever you can at this stage, even if it's just a few pounds, as it will help you to start to learn from an early age how to invest. And also the power of compounding your investments is so strong over time, which I'll come to in a bit more detail shortly. Next is savings for people in their 30s. Fidelity's guideline for people aged 30 is to have 1 year of your salary saved up. This includes your savings accounts, your pension or your investment accounts. According to data from the ONS, the average annual salary in the UK for people aged between 30 and 39 is just over £37,500. So that would mean someone who's earning this amount of money at 30 would be targeting to have the equivalent amount of money in savings already. The reason for targeting to save this amount of money by 30 is the benefits you get from compounding your investments. If someone who is 30 is able to invest £35,000 of savings, and then in addition they're able to invest £500 per month on top, assuming an average annual rate of return of 8% over a 35-year period, they would have just over £1.5 million by 65. That's pretty good going. The earlier you can save and invest, the more benefit you can get from compounding your investments. In your 30s, you want to build on what you've learned from your 20s and what worked well for you, and then you want to focus and double down to increase your savings and wealth. The two main focuses for your 30s are, number one, to aim to save around 10 to 20% of your annual income into your investments or your pension, or even more if you can. And number two, avoid lifestyle inflation. As you earn more, be careful not to just spend more too, as it makes it very hard to actually increase your savings if you do this. In London, in the city, I would always see people earning more and more money, getting promoted, increasing their income, but then they would spend it all on flashy new cars, designer clothes or expensive meals out. If you can do your best to keep your expenses at a similar level or within your means while your income goes up, you'll find you're able to grow your savings and wealth at a much faster rate. The next age group is people in their 40s. According to Fidelity, the target for this group is to save up 3 times their salary. So that would mean if you're earning a £50,000 salary, you'd be targeting to save £150,000 by 40. You're probably thinking that feels like a lot, and you might feel like you're a long way off actually achieving it. But let's break down the numbers behind that target. In the example of saving £150,000 by 40, this takes into account the gains you would make from compound interest from saving the original investment by 30. If you're able to invest £50,000 at 30, then the value of your investment by 40 would be £108,000, assuming an 8% annual return. So the amount you would actually need to save is the difference between £150,000 and £108,000, which is £42,000, or the equivalent of around £350 per month over that 10-year period. You'll need to run the numbers for your income to work out how much you would need to save. The key thing here is that the benefits from compounding investments from 30 means the amount to then save for the age 40 target is smaller. So the earlier you can invest, the easier it is to achieve this savings guideline. The 2 key focuses for your 40s are, number 1, to maximize your pension contributions. In the US you have 401k match, and in the UK there are similar pension benefits from employers where they match what money you put into your pension up to a certain percentage of your salary. If you have this option, take advantage of it, as it basically doubles your investment, which not many investments can do. If you're self-employed, you can also set up a self-invested pension account to take advantage of some of those tax benefits. Your 40s are some of your highest earning years, so you really want to be saving at least 15 to 20% of your income into your pension. Number 2 is to put in place your retirement plan. There are many different variables to consider on what is going to be sufficient to save for retirement, including at what age will you retire and for how long, how much will you spend in retirement, and what lifestyle do you want to have, and will you need to provide any financial support for care for your parents or family in old age. It's best to speak to a financial advisor to work out exactly what's going to be best for you based on your circumstances. By the age of 50, the savings target gets even bigger. Fidelity recommends having 6 times your salary saved up. So that would mean if you're earning £60,000, the savings target would be £360,000 by the age of 50. The key focus for this age group is to review your savings and investment portfolio against your retirement plan. Wealth preservation starts to become more of a focus. It's typically recommended to review your investment mix to make sure that your investments are less risky and more stable the closer you are to retirement. It's also at this point that you start to look at turning your investment portfolio into investments that can generate a regular income to support your pension living expenses, rather than having all your investments focused on wealth appreciation. Again, it's best to speak to a financial advisor, as they will look at a number of factors, including things like, based on your lifestyle and your planned retirement age, whether you'd outlive your current savings forecast, and they can also help you to model the best and worst case scenarios for your retirement. By the age of 60, the savings target is to have 8 times your salary, and by 67, the target is 10 times your salary. At this point, you really want to make sure that you have enough saved up to maintain your lifestyle in retirement. Again, review your savings and investments with a financial advisor to make sure that before you stop working, your finances are in order to support your retirement. You really want to be able to enjoy this time with family and friends. You've earned it from all of those years of managing your finances. So in summary, Fidelity's guide goes from targeting to save at least 1 times your salary by 30, all the way up to targeting to save 10 times your salary by 67. Fidelity do say these milestones are aspirational, and it's unlikely that you'll meet all of them across the different age groups, but they can serve as helpful goalposts to make a plan to make sure that you have enough money saved to support the lifestyle that you want in retirement. If you feel like you're behind, don't worry, there are ways to catch up. The key is to understand your current situation and to take action. Speak to a financial advisor who can help you put together a savings plan. I hope some of the tips and high-level guidelines in this video can help you. Feel free to add any questions in the comments and give the video a like and a subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.